Hi everyone, we are Johnny and Roberta from Synchronicity Center for Modern Mindfulness and Awakening, and would like to welcome you to episode 9 of Introduction to Practical Buddhism and Mindfulness Meditation.
So today we are going to finish our exploration of the Noble Eightfold Path by discussing the last area of training in mental discipline, also known as samadhi in the Pali language. And this area encompasses the steps of right, wise, or skillful effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Now, upon completion of these steps, if you've been following the series, you should hopefully have a very clear understanding of all 8 steps of the Noble Eightfold Path.
As usual, please reach out to us if you have any questions at all about anything we've already discussed, as well as anything we end up discussing in this episode. And as a reminder, please subscribe to our wonderful channel, follow us on social media where you can always catch up on previous episodes and topics that you may have missed. So, let's get started.
So within the Eightfold Path, the last section for us to cover is on training in mental discipline, also known as samadhi in the Pali language. This once again encompasses the steps of right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration.
We will begin with right, wise, or skillful effort, known as samadhi in Pali. Simply put, we could consider that this part of the path entails exercising the mental energy and diligence that is required to practice the remainder of the Eightfold Path in its entirety, and with ongoing ultimate intention of liberating ourselves and others from avoidable suffering.
Now, as far as the formal teachings are concerned, right effort is about having the determination to prevent unwholesome or detrimental mind states from arising. These unwholesome mind states will inhibit one's progress on the path.
We also want to work on eliminating these types of mind states that may have already arisen, while on the flip side, taking a positive and proactive approach to produce and elicit wholesome and beneficial states of mind that have not yet arisen. And we do this simultaneously while cultivating, perfecting, and bringing forth those same mind states that may already exist within oneself. Sounds easy, right?
Right. Okay, so let's break that down into some additional relatable terms and examples. Simply put, we can all probably agree that it takes effort, will, and determination if we want to experience any kind of change or improvement in our states of being. Whether it be quitting a bad habit, adopting a healthy one, or just trying to learn or master a new skill. How much effort and determination we actually put into the task will either grant us success or cause us to flounder and fail. And there be many situations in your life where you've probably done a little bit of both.
It may take only a brief self-reflection of most any of these situations, and we can usually evaluate whether or not we are exerting a proper and concerted effort towards achieving whatever it is we are pursuing or attempting to do. Whether it's quitting smoking, getting in shape, advancing at work, learning a new skill, building a business, strengthening our relationships, etc. It can be pretty apparent that if we aren't putting the proper effort into whatever it is, aside from the assistance of maybe some sheer luck, we may not be able to accomplish or make much progress with our intention.
No. So just try to reflect on this for yourself. How much effort do you put in various aspects of your life? Think about all areas. Jobs, hobbies, habits, skills, relationships, self-improvement, etc.
Does how interested you are or the level of importance or priority you assign it making a difference with the degree of effort you put forth?
Do you notice that the areas you put forth less effort in don't seem to be as successful for you, or perhaps won't make much progress at all?
Essentially, right effort for all of us practicing this path is about becoming more mindful and aware of where our concentration of effort lies in all of the things we do. And then, with that mindfulness of intention, prioritizing and dedicating a sincere and diligent effort to the practice of developing and cultivating these mind states in which we can ultimately see and understand the true nature of reality.
We can then work towards successfully practicing the accompanying steps as we traverse the path to achieving awakening or enlightenment.
Overall, perhaps the biggest takeaway about right effort is that you can have a deep intellectual understanding of all of the parts of the path, but right effort is what is required in order to experientially practice and embody that understanding in order to actually realize progress along the path.
That's so true. So next, we move on to right mindfulness. As with all of the other steps we've talked about so far, it can also be seen as wise or skillful mindfulness, or even samasati in the Pali language. Now, this step is all about diving into the realm of our attention and awareness. The practice of mindfulness is what allows us to ground ourselves in the here and now.
This is the only moment where we can truly be present and not wrapped up, distracted, or preoccupied with thoughts of the past or worries about the future. These kinds of pervasive thoughts only breed and feed feelings of depression or anxiety, causing you to miss out on what's actually going on in your present reality.
Everything that has ever happened has happened in the now. Every now is the only opportunity we ever have to forge a past without regrets or sorrow, and to step into a future with eyes and mind wide open in order to act skillfully for the benefit of ourselves and others.
Absolutely. To be forever in the now is to be awakened. Through gradual training, your mindfulness will continually improve, and the closer to awakening you will become.
So in Buddhist practice, there are ultimately 4 areas for us to focus our mindfulness and awareness on, especially in this step, right mindfulness. They are known as the 4 satipatthanas, named rightly after the Satipatthana Sutta, which is the Buddha's primary teaching on mindfulness.
These 4 areas include the first being mindful of actions of the body, known as kaya in Pali. The second, which is mindfulness of feelings and sensations, also known as vedana. The third area is being mindful of the activities of the mind, known as citta. And the fourth and final area is mindfulness of phenomena, which is all of our thoughts, ideas, and concepts, known in the Pali language as dhammas.
And it's pretty important just to make note that that is Dhamma in Pali spelled with a lowercase d, which actually differs in meaning from the word Dhamma with a capital D, which is referring to the collective teachings of the Buddha, as we explained in our previous episodes.
It's important to understand that though mindfulness is ultimately practiced both on and off the cushion, it is strongly cultivated and strengthened through the practice of sitting meditation.
And that's specifically via the practice of anapanasati, or breath meditation, in core Buddhist practice. And as we mentioned in episode 7, introducing you to meditation, this practice is what helps to literally rewire your brain and strengthen those mindfulness abilities.
So let's break down how we practice mindfulness of the 4 satipatthanas. First is the idea to begin practicing mindfulness and awareness of the body and all different forms of sensations and feelings.
This practice can begin by paying close attention to any and all sensations and feelings that occur in your body that you become conscious of. Be attentive as they arise and fall, enter and exit, come and go. The practice entails paying attention to the nature of them and to begin labeling them by making note if they are pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral.
And then, for mindfulness of the mind's activities, you can begin cultivating your awareness by examining any cravings, desires, or attachments that exist within the mind. as well as the presence of aversions, feelings of hatred, or perhaps deluded or incorrect perceptions of reality that you may hold. You can likewise begin to pay attention at any moment as to whether your mind is in a state of concentration or whether it is distracted by any multitude of things.
By paying attention to these satipatthanas and building strong mindfulness abilities, you can ultimately work to become aware of all of the constant comings and goings of the mind, while seeing and experiencing the impermanence of all things, and investigating all of their causes and conditions, essentially noting the nature of how each thing arises and passes away.
And this can also apply similarly to mindfulness of the dhammas, or mental phenomena, including thoughts, ideas, and concepts. The practice includes paying diligent attention to and nurturing awareness and understanding of the overall nature of them.
And this once again includes how they appear and disappear, what causes them to arise and what causes them to cease, if they are able to be repressed or held back in some way, or even if you're able to actually clear or eliminate them from your mind.
As we have mentioned throughout this discussion in previous episodes, we typically refer to mindfulness as mindfulness practice.
And this is quite appropriate because that's exactly what it is. It does absolutely require practice. And that is practice in addition to the intention and effort to make progress in becoming more mindful and aware throughout your everyday life experience.
Now we can understand and only know too well that it can sometimes feel like an uphill battle and struggle to remain mindful, especially in our society where distractions are everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
Just think of the multitude of things in all different forms coming from every direction, just constantly competing for your attention.
Just think about it. Television, commercials, pop-up ads, games, billboards, social media, tweets, emails, notifications, telemarketers, subliminal marketing that you're not even aware of. Even the trend towards an increased demand for multitasking at home, in our cars, or at our jobs. I mean, it can be downright overwhelming and frustrating at times to try to focus on doing any one thing to the very best of your ability.
And if that's not enough, it can oftentimes be even more frustrating to painstakingly try to communicate with someone else who is not present and aware, because they are also distracted by all of the same things.
Right? It's so true. The thing is, all of these distractions are not just preventing us from being mindful of the here and now. They are literally distracting us from living life and experiencing reality as it is, in the present moment. They are preventing us from actually connecting with each other and actually being together, not just doing together, being together. These distractions can turn out to be one of the many root causes to much of the avoidable suffering that we cause ourselves and others.
So just think about that for a moment. It's not necessarily about giving up all of the games, television, social media, etc.
Wouldn't that be great, though?
But it is a good idea to be mindful of how much of it you consume, or whether or not it is actually consuming you.
It's true. Right mindfulness, in this modern sense, is about knowing when and where it is healthy to engage in distractions, and when and where you should practice mindfulness to the very best of your abilities.
And that leads us to the last step on that Buddha's Eightfold Path, and the last in this training area of mental discipline. Right, wise, or skillful concentration, with its Pali equivalent being samadhi.
So, right concentration is simply about developing one's single-pointed concentration practice on their object of meditation. And many times, as we've mentioned, this is the sensations of the breath. The Buddha taught that single-pointed concentration practice, or samadhi, leads to access concentration, which is then a gateway to the initial 4 basic stages of consciousness known as the rupa jhanas, or form jhanas.
Now, the word jhana actually means absorption, as it refers to a mind completely absorbed in concentration. Samadhi, then, is essentially the absorption brought on by intense concentration on a single object of thought, until all else just drops away.
So each stage of the jhanas are marked by very significant characteristics that are unique to each level, such as feelings of intense joy, equanimity, rapture, and tranquility. These qualities can help an adept meditator understand which level that they have entered in or are actually resting in.
There are also 4 additional jhanas over and above the initial 4 to equal a total of 8. And these are known as the arupa jhanas, or formless jhanas, with even more significant characteristics.
But for now, at this introductory stage of your journey, and for this particular beginner series, we aren't going to go too deeply into the details of each of the jhanas. It's simply more important for you to just work on establishing a regular meditation practice, focusing on developing that stable concentration on your breath, and to experience very little distractions.
But it is important to know that these jhanas are higher levels of consciousness, or states of mind, and can become available to you once you've become more adept in your meditation practice. As Roberta said, the jhanas are not really a suitable topic at this entry-level introduction, and we will certainly cover them in future episodes. But for now, we should tell you that although the jhanas are incredibly pleasant states to attain, they serve a much higher function and purpose in Buddhist meditation practice. When the mind attains these superior levels of concentration, it becomes much, much easier to see and experience reality as it is. While dwelling in these states, we become prone to experiencing spontaneous insights into our own personal lives, and even greater, incredibly profound insights to the investigation and contemplation of reality and the teachings. The feelings of joy, tranquility, and imperturbability may last days after attaining a jhana state, but the insights have the potential of lasting a lifetime.
And just to bring the step of right concentration to another level, it can be helpful to understand that we don't have to consider concentration practice to be limited just to sitting meditation. Though it's still probably the most conducive and effective way to strengthen your skills, the fact is, you are practicing concentration anytime your mind is solely focused on just one thing. And that could be whatever it is that you are doing in that moment.
Therefore, concentration practice does not have to be limited to someone just sitting quietly and cross-legged on a meditation cushion with their eyes closed. It is entirely possible to make absolutely anything that you are doing into a meditative concentration practice by simply doing it just to do it and fully concentrating on the task at hand while keeping your mind solely in the present moment.
Exactly. So this could include activities such as walking, running, painting, eating, cleaning, folding laundry, doing dishes, collating papers, gardening, etc.
Changing diapers?
Yeah, literally most any activity can become a meditative practice for you, some probably more enjoyable than others.
Though we still recommend to sit daily in formal meditation. In order to put all of these skills into practice, it can certainly be helpful to cultivate your mindfulness and concentration practice in many other aspects as you go through your daily life.
And I'd like to point out that this many times will lead to a much more joyful and peaceful daily life experience for not only you, but many other people around you.
Absolutely.
So overall, just be aware of your distractions and maintain your effort to stay mindful, aware, and concentrated in order to fully practice and embody this training area of mental discipline, or samadhi.
So that about wraps it up of this episode on the training area of mental discipline.
Great.
Additionally, we now officially have covered all of the steps of the Noble Eightfold Path, detailing the Buddha's fourth Noble Truth. You should now have a good understanding of the steps of right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, and how to incorporate those steps into your overall practice walking the path.
And as always, we hope maybe you've learned something new or even a slightly different perspective to something you have already known. Keep an eye out for our upcoming episodes where we will be going deeper into explaining the concepts of emptiness, karma or kama, and metta practice.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check out our website, where you can schedule private sessions as well as sign up for our newsletter to keep up to date with everything we've got going on.
And that includes weekly group meetups for meditation that we do every Sunday. So check it out. And while you're there, if you'd like to become a supporter of our organization, even a one-time donation or a monthly supporter, and just help us to create more content like this in the future, as well as supporting all of the other activities that we do, please go ahead and just make a donation via PayPal. It would be great.
And we'd like to send a huge thank you to and much merit to all of those who have contributed and continue to support what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But for today, we will leave you with our own wishes for loving kindness or metta.
May you all be happy, may you all be well, may you all be safe and free from suffering, this day and every day. Thank you.